Hello everyone, welcome back to Anno 1800 Tourist Season, looking at our museum right now next to the central station. Now we are in the middle of having our next hotel. I have now 2 hotels being built. We also lack a bit of workforce because we're building the embassy monument right now. That is consuming a bit here, but we are also having the problem with the workload that hopefully should be coming in. 1 hotel, the second one right next to the docklands, and also the 3rd hotel here next to the central station. So I might actually go for my next hotel. That should be then somewhere down here, closer to the industrial zone and closer to my old city. Let's call it like that because that was the original intention. And yep, right here in the center we do have a bit of space with a fire station, police station, and some smaller engineers, and I would like to squeeze it in this area, right? For the fire station and the police station, well, first of all, we don't need them here that much anyway, and second of all, there is enough in the surrounding. Let's get us the next hotel up and running. We need a lot of them, right? So it's totally fine if we spam them in some certain areas. I certainly don't want to have them in only one place though. That would be very bad looking. So there we need to kind of like squeeze it in, and as we can see, it takes a lot of space. Now that's fine, that is working. We could have it looking towards the variety theater. We could also have it looking towards the street. Let's have it looking like that. So it's looking towards the city. And the next hotel we have. Now, of course, once again, it needs a bus station, and that's a good thing here that we have the variety theater next to it. And here we do have, well, those two, the pub and the marketplace, that we no longer need in this area, right? Why? Because basically there's only engineers and investors surrounding it. So we might have the bus station in this spot here. As we can see, thanks to the overlay, it is then being connected to the major bus line, right? So here we have that, our bus station, and right next to it, the restaurant. That restaurant, it's a very good location for it because we have lots of residents close to it, right? So let's have us a nice little restaurant garden here beside the church. So there is a nice little plaza then for that. Let's just finish this road here, going towards the church. And then, of course, we would want to have some ornaments around that as well. Let's use some of the new ones. So we have these beautiful, beautiful cherry trees that we can have then close, for example, here to the street, going towards the bus station. And we do have the green parasol, so something here next to the restaurant, like. So this is a bigger plaza that is looking towards that signpost. Musicians stage. Just have a look at that, together with some ornaments around it. So here, some additional stands for people, luggage cart, some cherry, perhaps another cherry. Nah, that's too much. An iron tower kiosk. That is something we can have right here. And then perhaps some normal paving. So there is the pavings coming up, the kiosk, the bus station, and another restaurant right here in this area. This restaurant though should have a warehouse not too far away, since we do have, yep, the industrial harbor area here. And as we can see, there's the restaurant, so it can get its resources from over there. We still need, once again, to decide on a dish. In that case, we only have the Archduke's Schnitzel at the moment. There's nothing else that I can select for now, so that will have to do together with the hotel. Perfect. And as we can see, everything here is now close together, so this is a nice little plaza there. Actually, I really like that one. Beautiful. Close to the hotel. Oh, and by the way, here we also do like some trees. So let's just go for some. Let's actually make elm trees here in the center to have a little alley between these houses there. Having more green space is always a good idea. Now let's just check our quests that we have. So as we can see, the tourists ask you to build a zoo complete with enclosure containing rare and impressive animals and connected to a hotel by bus. In her own words, when one is able to relax happily in a new and undiscovered place for a long time, one finds oneself craving stimulation of one kind or another. In particular, anything with those jolly animals who are all on holiday from the homelands too. Oh, if she thinks that they're on holiday here, sure thing. We're totally not enslaving our animals. My zoo I have over here, right next to our amusement park, in this beautiful area. By the way, the zoo is not even completed, so we can still squeeze in a few more animals into this massive one here. And that's, yeah, that's a cool thing, that we can now have a bus station here, right next to the amusement park and the zoo. Now, over here, we have a bit of more space, right? There we have the flower bushes. I don't need all of them, of course. And we can now add to this area another bus station that is connecting now the zoo, as we can see. Unfortunately, the amusement park doesn't have an area like that. So there we have the bus station. The bus station still needs a connection to the greater network, unfortunately, because as we can see, the range only goes to this area. We will need a few bus stations. That's our first bigger bus route that we can now choose. They need to overlap, of course. Here we have a nice little location for that. Right next to the church. There we can connect it, and that should extend the network. It definitely overlaps those two, very good. And then, yep, one more that we need to have here then in this area somewhere. Alright, of course we can't neglect our productions chains that we have in the background. Crown Falls is still consuming a lot of resources, and we are lacking actually a few goods right now. So rum is low, the glasses is low, and the penny farthings is pretty low, and the light bulbs. So those 4 products we need to get up ASAP. The same goes with the steel beams. Now let's just check this one real quick. For the bicycles, I do have actually everything in the city itself, and for the glasses as well, we are capped on the brass. Now let's just check this one here, the spectacle factory. As we can see, brass and glass, that's the 2 things that we need in this area. So I do need to get some steel beams now over. My ships, unfortunately, are not transporting enough, it seems. There's another steel trader now going out. We might just use some of those products for that. And the newspaper guy is coming along. I wonder how we had it last time. I'm definitely going with the negative consumption there. Happiness should be quite fine, so we're going with actually 2 times of that. Right, so we are having the minus 50 consumption there for a city this size. That's quite important. Happiness is not that important, so let's actually we can't afford that anyways. I'm going with a bit of smaller propaganda here, which is just basically the minus plus happiness and the minus 10. That's fine.
Are you the cause of endless sorrow?
And right, what I can see is we didn't use the money propaganda last time, so that's fine. Steel beams though is not fine, absolutely not fine. I should still be producing a bit more. Of course, we also lack the workers right now. And as I can see, yep, the workers in Heavenly Gate, for example, would like to use or would like to get some sausage. That would improve their happiness and their numbers. Let's also upgrade a few farmhouses so that we can get our workforce under control again. So that we have a few more that we can upgrade over here and here. So let's make this one as close as possible, because after all, we don't need the farmers now for quite some time. That's fine. And we got the first steel beams in again, and I'm using that moment to build the next glass productions, right? Spectacle productions over here. 2 more. And let's also have here another one. And light bulb wise, we should have another factory, light bulb factory. Let's build this one. And for the sand, the additional one that is now coming in from the other side, we can't feel that yet though, so the sand mine I should get. Now, how is it looking with my ship production? Do we have the next cargo ships? We should be getting a few cargo ships on the way. So there is one. Yep, that is now unloading. So let's just unload all of that and put you to work again. And there is my, yep, very good. We can build another one. And we actually have a few available right now. So let's just have a looky. I think in Half-Brink it was. Oh, and we also get an achievement. DLC by the bus load, because we have now a bigger bus network working for us. That is our first little achievement from the new DLC. There we are with the fish. And the tourist has a reservation concerning the quality of your restaurant's fare. The fish is fresh, certainly. But it's more than a little bit whiffy around here. Must improve this menu of yours. Okay, so we can now invent a new recipe. Please give me some time there before I do that decision though. Okay, the steel is in now. We have a bit more again. I think my monument is consuming less steel. Of course, we still have now here that little train network that goes all the way to the other side here. Righty, and here, and then let's just connect that, and then we can have the major road there once again. That's a nice cool new animation that we have there as well with the road building. I love that. Perfect. There we have the the train network again. And now we still need to look out for the bus system that is going from here. And as we can see, let's just have a look. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I hope this one's fine too. This one's fine too. Perfect. So there we can have a bus station that is connecting both of them. I would like to have it here near such a junction there because it makes just more sense. It's the main avenue bus line that we have there. So to me it makes more sense to have it here. There we connect it, and boom, we have the zoo connected with our citywide bus network now. I'm positively giddy from all the sights and beauty. So this beautiful zoo is now officially connected with my bus system. And as we can see, there's already the first people on board. Now, Mirth End is actually a new focus that we need now. Lucky we have this island here, because otherwise I wouldn't have known where to put the space now that we need for this. Mirth End is connected to the global workforce population, but the problem is we need more farmers, right? Because we actually have a new good now. First of all, we have unlocked the cafe, so that is something we can use then soon, but also the orchard. Now the orchard provides jam that my new people want, right? Beautiful little new buildings, and that of course unfortunately needs some farmer population again. So let's get cracking on a smaller orchard village of what we might be able to do them. So I would like to have first of all some fishermen, and those fishermen are going to have then a nice little house right next to each other. By the way, wait a second, let's just make this one here a bigger road once again. Might be a small village, but still, even a small village should have a main road. Done. And we have also finished the embassy. Perfect. The steel structure has been completed. So I'm just going to have some smaller block here. This is really because we need the farmer population that we don't have at the moment. And also here. And yeah, the wood we have, let's just build all of that. And we actually, while we wait on that now to build up, we need surprise wind. And surprise wind is going to take some timber. Just see that we have enough of that. We need a lot of timber actually and some bricks. That's all we need for now. Let's get this over with, and let's also have a look at our embassy. Finish the building and start the last phase. Timber, windows and copper, and some artisans that we have plenty of, I'm sure of. So there is our beautiful little embassy coming along just beside the town hall. And then we can get rid of the warehouse again. So that's another building, by the way, that we need to connect to a bus network then. Speaking of bus networks, we have one down here. We don't have one yet for the town hall and for the welfare. And of course, those would also like to have a bus stop. So let's just have a look around. The bus station, there it is. The palace does need its own one that we should have done somewhere over there. And oh, what I can see though is if we have it here, we could at least have the palace and the town hall connected. The welfare will need its own bus stop yet. Let's actually connect it here. So there we have the fountain and the flower that we no longer need here, and that makes us room for another bus stop right here in the city center, in the heart of Crown Falls, right next to the palace and the welfare. It's taking both of them into account, and as we can see, palace and welfare are now in the bus network. Wibble Sock Row. That's the bus stop station here. Let's make it Palace Garden, something like that. Or we could also name it Central Station. that we have in the central place here. Unfortunately, the bus stop doesn't have the biggest of ranges, so for the town hall, I'm going to use one that uses the embassy and the town hall in one stop, right? So we can do that here along the major road, most likely, once we finish the embassy. Actually, there is the space for it, so we could have the bus like that. There we could have a little station, and it would actually take in all 3 buildings at once. This one, this little space here. That's going to be a new bus station. I just hope that it does look nice somehow. Right, so we do need, of course, to have a bit of a street right next to it. And we can get rid of that again. And instead, I would like to use one of these new ornaments that we have. First of all, we have a wooden pavilion. That is something we can use. There's also the lookout point. I think the lookout point makes sense here because we have the view of the palace and the town hall monument, so you can watch everything. And the photography nook. Souvenir shop. Yep, let's have the souvenir shop. Postcard vendor. And some street maps that we also have there in the city center. Just here in the center of the whole one. Perfect. And that bus station here really takes into account now all 3 of them. That's just really cool. So we're going to call this one here the central station. Just because I want to have at least one central station. Not a lot of people waiting here yet. And I can also see different nationalities. So there is someone from Mbeza as far as I can see. Yep. In that tiny station here. Meanwhile, our new ship has arrived in Mirth End. That is now a village, by the way. So let's just unload everything. Let's build the fishermen. We can also now build some more additional farmer houses that we need in this area. Oh, by the way, also, we should be having a pub in the area. And then we can now finally have a place for the orchards. And I have no idea how many we need for the jam, but let's just start with a few orchards over here in this little spot. Just going to need a little bridge going over there. By the way, we do have some zinc and coal and iron deposits here as well. And over here, there is now the orchard, our multi-factory that we have. So this can produce now jam, but what I can see, it does need a variety of input goods. Alright, so they work similar to like lumberjack huts, for example. And in that case here, there we have now the orchard, number 1, for example, and they do need, of course, 100% efficiency in order to work appropriately. So let's have the first one closer here to the mountain, the second one right behind it, closer to the ocean, and then one here most likely. Let's make it more like here and also here. So they have a good connection there to the warehouses. Let's build them. This one here I hope has a connection. It will probably need a paved road. So the main road can be paved. Let's build them. Righto, but they're not working right away. By the way, they look really cute, but they're naked for now. What they need is, for now, we have the jam unlocked, so there's going to be more products then. The jam we can now choose, and thick and colorful jam blended from a variety of fruit, including cherry for optimal breakfast conditioning. Let's select it, and as we can see, the planting process has now started.
I can't. It's too beautiful.
So we're going to need a few orchards then as well for the advanced new products that we have for the restaurant. Beautiful. And now it's taking a bit of time, planting progress, and let's just see, they produce then hopefully in a short amount of time once that has started, because my tourists, they want the jam. Now the jam, where do we see that then? Here we have the hotel. And as we can see, the jam is the basic need for these tourists here, in that case for them to grow. right? And then we would have the cafe as the next building. Speaking of the cafe, we can actually already go for it. There we have it, food and drink venue for satisfies tourists, and we do have some different recipes here once again. Oh my goodness. So the restaurant uses the schnitzel for now out of 5 recipes, and the cafe uses another 5 recipes, from the donut to the banana surprise. That's a pretty cool name. Let's have a look down here. We already have a restaurant there. I would like to have a cafe close by because I think this just fits. We also have the bus here, we have the warehouse here. I think this is a good location for the cafe. There's a school here that we certainly don't need anymore, because we basically only have engineers in its surrounding. And then we could have now a cafe just here between all these engineers. And beside the church and also the restaurant. Cafe, there we have it. And of course, once again, we need to decide on something. The donut foray is going to be our first one. And once again, the foray is the sum of several scarcely distinguishable solid donut strains. We do need flour, tallow, that we have. We don't have the jam yet, so the jam is being produced as of this moment, and the effect would be then -10 consumption for coffee, for example, and chocolate for the surrounding area. And this is actually pretty useful since we have engineers and investors in the area. So there we have the beautiful cafe. And of course, like every cafe, we should have some surrounding ornaments then. So for example, we could, oh, by the way, there is the street then going from those houses there to the cafe. And then we might have, let's see what we could have. Some more places where people can sit. We certainly need a luggage cart. A signpost in this area. Some cherry trees.
Your people are starting to get sick.
And a nice little plaza just behind the cafe. Perfect. Now we just need the resources for that and for those people in the engineers, like the jam. Now the jam is something that still takes a bit of time, I guess. Over here we have the orchard. Ah, yes, beautiful. The trees are growing now. Cherry blossom trees, most likely. And then of course we still need the trade route. We are not really producing any jam for now, but of course we will soon. So let's just use Mirth End now and go to Crown Falls. Have the new ship that we had on the way, Surprise Wind, there it is. And this one is now getting the jam over there in all its glory. Now I just need to find the new product, obviously. There it is, jam. And I don't think we're going to have more than 300 tons in one direction, but still, we can try. Jam is on the way now to Crown Falls, and with that, the cafe should hopefully then also be working. Of course, we will still need a few more cafes and a few more hotels. Stay tuned.